And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hooray! It's Magic the Gathering! Okay, not really Magic the Gathering. But I'm using this box to keep this brand new. Well, isn't I guess every game we do brand new practically. But anyway, this new collectible card game. Now I'm not a huge fan of collectible card games. But I am a huge fan with how this game works. This is Redakai, or Redakai, and I'm sure someone's going to go, "You're not pronouncing it right." Well, son, I don't watch the cartoon, so I'll pronounce it any way I want. So, Redakai, ow. Anyway, it's a game that has clear cards that you can put on top of each other and attack one another. It's a very simple game, and the company didn't even send me a review copy of this one. I went out and picked it up because it just looked so interesting, and I thought it might be a fun game for Melody and I to play. Is it fun? Let's look. You unfold a sheet of paper to play the game, and it's kind of annoying because you have to place it, I don't know, I'm never a real big fan of placing these pieces of paper down on the ground. But then you have a team. Now, I have 4 different starter decks, so I was able to see different teams. So let's take a closer look at these cards. What this means is the players here have 3 health bars. This shows their defense in different colors. So on this team, each team has a 300 in different defenses, while this guy has a 200 and a 100 in 2 different colors. Okay? And so you have these different color things. The location matters somewhat, and then there's also some special ability. And you'll put those characters here. You will then take a deck of cards and shuffle that deck. This deck is made up of clear cards. You can see through them kind of, sort of, which is going to matter in the course of the game. And then you'll shuffle them, and then you get ready to take your turn. Down here is where you're going to keep track of your Kairu, or action points. Each turn, your maximum Kairu goes up. I'm measuring it with these little heart symbols. You have to get your own tokens. And then you have your remaining. So this is what you use each turn as you play cards. And then this is what you keep track of, how much you have. It's a little bit similar to Versus in how you're using the things. And you have your draw deck and discard pile. I'm going to get rid of this sheet now so we can take a closer look at the cards. Now, there's a basic and advanced game, but seriously, the advanced game is so basic, I can't imagine anyone wanting to play just the basic game. In the basic game, you have 1 hero, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Okay, so you have 3 characters in the so-called advanced game. And each of them has 3 health bars, and you have special abilities and so on. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using that energy, that Kairu energy that I was showing you earlier on the sheet, and each turn you'll be spending that to play cards. Now, each card has a cost in the upper corner that shows you how much it costs. For example, this one here costs 3. It's a lightning strike. And I guess I should mention, and it's probably hard to tell in the video, that all these characters have a 3-dimensional thing, and it's, ooh, look, ooh, he's coming at you. And that is a pretty neat thing. Kids especially are going to enjoy that. But on your turn, you can play one of these as an attack on a character. Now, when you attack someone, you look at the attack number. This is a red 150. And I can hit these 2 guys because they have 300 in green and 300 in blue defense, but they don't have any defense against red. But I can't touch Kai with it because he has a 300 defense of red. So I can play this card on top of Boomer. Now look what happens when I do that. You can see that Boomer now has a hit here. It's colored in red. And, well, that's basically all that it did to him. But I'm trying to get rid of all the yellow bars. If I can turn all his yellow bars into red. And you can see that that's a low attack, but that's because it costs low. Sometimes the attacks are different. This one's a 450 for 3. And so you have to figure out where the location is. But notice one thing about this red one that you might not have seen before is that when I hit him here, it's a pretty low attack, but if it does hit, notice it also covered up his special ability. And if I manage to play enough cards on him that turn all the bars to red, then he's dead. And notice there's also a picture showing him getting the snot beat out of him. Sometimes you can even play a card like this. Look here, I'm playing this Screech Stunner, which is really cheap to play and a pretty powerful attack. And you say, but it doesn't do any damage. Yes, but look, it canceled out her defense over here. And there are cards which will do that. And of course, you know, then you can hit him for more damage. Or you can play one of these really big cards. This one here costs a 7. And when you play this on someone, it will do 2 bars of red damage. Or this one, boom! doing the 2 bars on the outside. And so once you do 3 bars of damage to somebody, they're out of the game. So this person is in trouble over here because 2 other people are dead and the 1 person is. But you can also spend energy to play some kind of upgrade. So here, boom, now I have a 300 red defense and a 400 and a new special ability. Or I can play this one, boom. Now I got 700 blue defense, a 300 red defense, and another special ability. Or let's change that green one to a 600. You can really upgrade. And some of these upgrades are not as useful number-wise, but they actually will heal your character. So now he has 2 yellow bars. So that's basically the game. You play as many cards as you can on your turn, depending on how much energy you have, and you're trying to knock out your opponents and keep your own teammates alive. The first person to knock out 3 guys on the other person's team is the winner. All right, now our play has been limited to the 4 starting decks. I have done no deck building at all. And in fact, I really don't want to. And I think the reason for that is I can't for the life of me figure out how you're supposed to. I mean, most of the attacks are just minor variations of each other. They don't seem that different. The characters, well, they have different special abilities and such. You know, there's nothing that's groundbreaking. It's not like, oh, ho, ho, this is my deck, you're dead now. Most of the attacks succeed. It's really, the defense isn't as big of a deal as you might think. I can almost always get around your defense. I guess if my whole deck was green cards and you had a green defense, but if you have a varied deck, you're going to hurt your opponent. So this game is very, very, very light. It's enjoyable. Putting the cards on top of each other is a tremendous visual effect, but I didn't feel like the strategy was that great. What do you think?
I really like the cards of how the attack cards, when you move them around, it actually looks like they're attacking. That's really cool.
Ooh. Continue. Ooh.
And it's cool how you can put them on top of each other, see where the wounds are, and heal, and it's a good game.
So you like it a lot? Mm-hmm. All right. And I think that perhaps Melody's Age is the target. This is... I would compare this in complexity to really right around where Pokemon was, maybe even a little bit less. Maybe if you're a fan of the cartoon, you'll be a bigger fan of the game. It's a neat concept. I mean, I don't see the clear cards used in many games. Gloom did, but that was kind of a gloomy game. This game works better. It's just that deck building seems simplistic and the game itself seems fairly simple, but that doesn't mean that it's fun. Just don't expect a lot of strategy. You got to play the advanced game with the 3 characters. I'm not playing 1 character on 1 character. 3 games is the way to play. So you're giving it a thumbs up? I will play it with Melody. I will likely not play it with anyone else.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.